Hi, I'm Allison Pryor and I teach drawings and paintings for beginners and all levels. So today I wanted to show you how to draw a grid and how you can make a drawing from a grid. It's not hard. Let's get started. So today I would like to draw something fairly simple. It's a cow, and what I want to do with this is a picture that I got off of Pixabay and I printed it out in black and white. So no matter what you want to draw, you can print it off and then you can use a grid. So today I'm going to show you about grids, show you how to use them and what ways you can make a grid. So with this one you can make your own grid by putting squares over this picture with a ruler and a pencil, and then you can transfer that to a paper. So today we're going to do a grid. I just picked out this cow here because I thought it was easy. So I just wanted to give you an idea of how to make a grid so that you can transfer this onto your paper so that you can draw it in squares, because you'll draw everything that's in a square. That's what a grid is. And what you do is you can draw your squares onto your paper, but you want to first draw your squares on your photograph. So this is just a black and white photograph I got off of Pixabay and I printed it off, and then we will go with, so you go and get a ruler and go to 1 inch. I like 1 inch squares because I find it easier and it helps me be able to get that on the paper better. So just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, make your dots, and then you make your dots down here and on the sides, and then you just draw your lines over your cow. So say you got 1 inch here, draw a line down here, and you draw your lines all through there till you got squares. Okay, so to help you understand this better, because it would take me forever to do that for you, but what you can do is get this kind of paper, and then you make 1 inch squares on it, and you can lay it over your cow, and then it's done really fast. So once you do one, you can use this all the time, okay, rather than drawing out those squares. And you can make squares smaller or bigger, depends, you know, on how much you want to put in each square. Then you can also get, if you're using 8.5 by 11 sheets, that will be better, because then you'll be able to put it inside of here, and that will hold it down for you. Okay, so then now you have no problem, it won't move around. It'll be inside this paper protector. See, and now you have, so then you don't even have to take it out anymore. All you got to take out then is your picture and put a new picture in, and then you're all ready to go. So it's much faster and much easier. I will do another video where, say if you have an 8.5 paper here, but you have a 16 by 20 canvas here, then I will show you then how to make that cow bigger, but that'll be in another one. That'll be another video. So now what I did was I got my paper that I wanted to draw my cow on, and I made my 1 inch squares, same as on here, okay? And I drew in the bits and pieces of the cow. So you can start, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter, but you can start in the second, that's where the head is in the second square, and you can draw in the shape, and you still have to concentrate on drawing, but it makes it so much easier, right? So you draw in the shape of the head, whatever you see in that square. Okay, so when you see that in the square, you just put it in. Now I know and it may not come out exactly the same as, because it depends on how you draw yourself, right? So if you draw it in like this, what I'm doing here is the dark parts here. See all those dark parts there? So that's what I'm doing here, and then I'm going to put in the eyes. Hard to see the eyes on this one. So that's where the ear is, and we also have up by this ear we have this coming out here and in and out to meet up with this one, And then we have the eye. It's in here. Like I said, it's hard to see the eye there. So I'm just going to put in an indication of an eye. And we can fix that up after, but just don't forget that. Then you can go down to the second one. The second square. So you can move down or you can move across, okay? Whatever makes it easier for you. That's the nose, mouth. So try that. You know, just try it and see what. It could look funny after you're finished. I don't know, but just try it anyway and see what you think. See if it helps you. I don't use grids a lot, but because I like to draw freehand. See this in here. This is going up into the second square up here. See? See, it gives you an idea of where to put things, right? There we go. And that comes down to the second square. Down here. So we know that all this is a dark color. And so I got the face down here. You can go all over the squares, wherever you want to go, you know. Whatever makes you comfortable, whatever helps you. Okay, so I might go across this time and then I'll be able to get better shapes. Okay, so let's keep going. Now see, it made it so much easier with the squares to get at least the shape of your cow, all right? So now when you get the shape of your cow, you got your shape, what you're going to do now is you are going to erase those lines so that you can fill in everything else. So you take them out and then you're able to see what other adjustments you need to make. So doing a grid is not my favorite because there's a lot of work to it. If you can learn to draw freehand, that will be even better. But there's a real good help to get, you know, the likeness of a person or an animal or whatever you're trying to get on your paper to draw. Right? Now you can use any eraser to erase these lines, but if you use anything but a kneaded eraser, you're going to get all this eraser mess. See? But sometimes you might want to use a different eraser if the kneaded eraser won't take off the lines as much as you'd like. So you can use another eraser. This one's pretty good. Yeah, this one is Statler. And this one's pretty good. So when you get this mess here, try not to use your hand to wipe it away. Just use a brush. That way you won't make a mess on your drawing. Okay? See? Now you got a mess on your table, that's all. There we go. So, now you can start drawing. So all you gotta do now is look at where the shadows are and the shading. And so if I was going to start this, I would start with the black, right? I would just put in my black, make small circles. That way, you might say, well, why do you want small circles? Well, because that will help fill in any spaces that you're going to have, all right? So you don't want any spaces. So you fill in little circles, and that will help you get a nicer flow and a nicer look to your drawing. So we'll pick out the spots that are the black spots first. I always like to start with the darks. Like when I'm doing a portrait, I like to start with the iris and the pupil, and or, you know, parts that are dark in the eyes, and the shadows in the hair around the face. Okay, so just fill in all the darks first. See, and then when you get that done, make sure you get all, don't want to leave anything out. You don't want to see too many lines, and we're going to fix that. I'm going to show you how you can circles. It may look like I'm going up and down, but I'm going in little circles. Now, you can take a kneaded eraser. Now, you can take a blending stump, Tertullian, and you can shade that out so that it all looks nice and smooth, okay? See? So let's fill in all the darks and see what that looks like. Now if you find the 2B, this is a 2B pencil. I was just using a 2B to get it started, but if you want a darker colors here, I try not to use them too dark yet because I might have to erase something, so that's why I use a little lighter with the 2B. But we also have these charcoal pencils. Now they're very hard to erase, so you have to be very confident in what you're going to do in order to use charcoal, because it's pretty messy, but it's nice and dark. But it's, I like these because you can unravel them. I find that when you're trying to sharpen them, it can ruin your sharpener, or it just won't sharpen properly. But it's pretty messy. So I'm just going to stick with the pencil. I just wanted to show you that. And you can also, when you rub it in here, it looks nice and dark, see? Now charcoal don't work very well with graphite, so once you put your graphite down, you can't put charcoal over it. They don't like each other very much, okay? But look how dark. I just wanted to show you the difference, okay? Just wanted to show you the difference. And so you can also use, these are charcoal sticks, right? These are nice too. I'm not going to do much with that. Like I said, I don't want to, but you can use, in order to sharpen, sometimes if you don't have a good sharpener, you can use this. This is sandpaper, and you can use that to sharpen your pencil. You can use this to sharpen your, also those pencils. These are look, I got another one here, it's nice. So it's got a nice top on it there. So you can also use, let's see. These pencils are nice. These are charcoal pencils. Now you trying to sharpen them in your sharpener can ruin your sharpener. So the only thing you can do is use something sharp, or you don't want to cut yourself, so you can just use sandpaper. And you can use that sandpaper to get a nice sharp edge. And you can also use that sandpaper to pick up some charcoal on your blending stump or on a tissue, and you can use that to also add shading to your, right? But that's good for shading, but trying to keep it consistently dark like that, it's hard, but it's nice when you want to do some shading. See that? See, pick up the charcoal here and you put it on here. Great for portraits and things, and it really works really well. It's not as messy because now you're only picking up the leftover charcoal, but look how nice that is too. So I just want to show you these few things. I'm just going to continue on with the pencil for now, and then I just want to see, you know, how it turns out, and then we can use this leftover charcoal for shadows. Like you want to add some shadows on the cow, because it's white, so you want to add some extra shadow on there. You can just put in here. We got the nose here, so you just want to add some extra shadow into the white, because you don't want white to be all white, right? Just add some shadows in here just to make that white stand out. So you use that, get a bit of roundness to the face area. That's where, at the bottom of it there. I'll do the nose now. Draw it out. I forgot to draw it out, but I still have my square here, see? And I know that nose was in that square, so I can picture where, so if you leave anything out, it's easier to fill it in. So you know the nose comes up here, and that's that part there. It comes down a little bit further here. So kind of measure it, you know, eyeball it too sometimes. Eyeballing it is good. Alright. So this picture is not bad, but it's not great for detail. I'm finding I probably should have made, so if you're printing off a picture, make sure you can see the detail, the eyes, and you know, the smaller details. I can't even see the eyes there. I'm having to guess at, or I'll have to look at another cow picture and see what their eyes are like. Don't be close to too many cows. So all I can go by is pictures. Right, and the mouth comes over here. It's darker. It's underneath there. It's a bit lighter. I can see that. Just going by what I see. Now, some of you artists out there might be able to draw better than some of the more experienced people. I don't know, right? But I guess if you wouldn't be here if you were doing well enough that you could do it on your own. I hope you pick up some tips, or you know, something helps you. See? So the eyes are in here somewhere. They're in around this area. So we'll get to those after. So I'm just going to continue on filling in those black areas. All right. now it's starting to shape up like a little bit of a cow there, isn't it? So now what we have to do is find some shadows that were in the picture itself. So I see some shadows in here, so we will put them in here. So like you say, once you get the drawing done, and the grid is a good help, the grid helps, and then you can start putting in shadows. So try and find the dark shadows, which is here. Then this looks dark in here. So you try to find the darkest areas, right? So you can distinguish. And it's okay to put out the dark areas. If it's not real smooth, and you want it smooth, because you can see the picture is pretty smooth. So use your blending stump to smooth that out again. Push hard when I want it to look darker, and then I kind of lift up on my pressure when I'm trying to not have, see how I darken it down there, but I put a little more graphite down there, see? And then I'm coming up around here, and on that line that I made right here, I'm softening it all up. Right, there we go, and then we're going to get some nice, there's that dark line there, and let's get those shadows. There's a shadow in here, so you keep using your bending stump now because we have enough graphite on there for a while. If we don't, we'll just add more. So it looks like we might need some more right here, and then you can take that and move it around a bit to your advantage. Oh, it's a bit too dark there because I had that charcoal on there, remember? Alright, so good. We're trying to avoid making that line look like a line here, but that'll disappear when we put some grass and things down there. So this is down here. This is a lighter area. Just follow it and draw what you see. Draw what you see, and that will help you get what you're looking for. And if you want to, then you can use your kneaded eraser to take out some highlights. So you can take some highlights, maybe something here, maybe something here, maybe a little bit here where we put in a little too much, or I put a little too much. I can't say we. It's me. All right. So then this here is a little bit lighter. So leave that as it is for now. You can always go back and adjust everything that you need to adjust. So I'm just using my my blending stump here to get some shadows in here, and I'm going on top of those lines there to see if I can make them disappear. So there we go. Good. Just try to get some shadows in there. Trying to take out, if I got too much, if I feel like I have too much graphite on there or too much, yeah, from the blending stump, I'll just take it out, and then I'll what I like to do, what I'm doing now is basically just putting in where I think the shadows might look nice, where they might go. And then after it's all finished, then I will go back and I will adjust it so that it looks better, right? So you gotta get something started. If you sit here and you just keep playing around one area, and you'll get bored or you'll get tired of it, right? So at least do something. Just do something to get started, okay? That's the way I feel, even with my paintings. You know, you got to put something on there, put some color on, some shapes, something, even if it doesn't look right for now. So underneath here, there's lots of shadow underneath there. I'm going to take that out of here because I don't really need that right now. So I'll take this out of here, now that we can really look at it, because we don't need the grid now, right? Now you can really see the shadows without the shine. That's a help, isn't it? So you see all these shadows here, look at that. So eyeball it, and just put in some of these shadows. And then underneath here is really dark. So we'll darken it up again after. I just want to get, like I always say, I want to get something started. Now in my opinion, I made those lines a bit too dark, right? Should have made them a little lighter, the outline of the cow. But I was trying to make them dark enough so you could see them, right? So underneath here, nice and dark. And then down around here is not too bad. The back of this leg here is really dark. There's really a lot of stuff going on there. You might need to use a pencil for that. Go need some pencil for it here, because there's not enough graphite on that blending stump to get them in there. Now, depending on what you are looking for, if you're looking for every little detail to be exactly the same as the picture, then you go ahead and do that if that's what you want to do, because the more you do, then the more you can learn. But you could be an artist that just wants to get it close to what you see. You don't need to be perfect. I don't know if you want to call it perfect, but you don't need it to be the exact. I mean, if you're doing a tree, you don't want to do every single leaf on the tree. You'd be at it for, oh my goodness, yeah, for a long time. Now, that's the shadows. And I might put a little bit more shadow in here with the pencil. Found that I didn't get, and you can see it's kind of like, see how it goes like that? Like that. Now see, if you saw that cow in a farm, in real life, it wouldn't look like that. What this is a photograph. The camera is picking up different shadows in different ways. So I mean, this is not even, you know, what it would probably be close to if you saw this cow in reality, in real, you know. So because the camera is just picking up different shadows on the cow, and you're copying what you see. And we call it rendering. Okay, when you render something, you hear that word rendering, it means you're just copying from a picture you're looking at. Okay, just drawing from a picture and copying the different shadows and shadings that are on there. And right, so you got this here going on. So just try to get those little shadows in there. Just going to kind of make them a little bit deeper. We are going by what that photographer picked up on the camera, you know. So because you're picking up what's on the camera, you can change it. If you don't like it or you don't think it fits, you can take it out and put it your own way. You can look at different pictures of cows and see what we're there. Just look for shadows and highlights. Shadows and highlights. You got 3 values. So you have the light, or you can go backwards, dark, medium, and light. So we're looking for the dark. There's some medium, and there's the lighter. Okay. So I'm just gonna get that in there. I got this little thing going on here. It looks like, it's really hard to tell by the picture. I don't know what's going on there. Is it another hoof, or is it a tail? No, tail. Just look, I don't know. It's hard to pick it out, isn't it? So we'll just have to go with the flow. So it's just a bunch of darks. That came down to a point and then down. What's going on there? If that's part of the leg, or it's got these different little dots on there. This one here has all black on it. You really need to see them in real life. Take your own pictures, because going by other photographers, they're just taking the pictures for photography. They're probably not even thinking about painting it or drawing it. So what they see in their photography, they love it. And when you go to paint somebody else's photo, then you may not be able to pick up everything that you need. So for sure, try to do your own. So we just put the darks in where you see them. A little hoof there, I think. So as you can see, it's coming along, and just trying to get the shadows in. It's there. There's some black on this here. And there's some up here. It looks like we got a little bit of a out here, and then it comes down like this. There's some more up here. So as you can see, it's coming to life. It's coming to life, and I'm just going to move this around. So as you can see, we managed to get the shape of the cow by doing the grid, and we managed to get some shadows and shading in there to bring it to life. And if you want to make these lines disappear, then you do the background. So when you start doing the background, it'll blend in with the background, see? And then those lines will disappear. So you start at the line and then you move away from it, and we're making a kind of a grassy look there, right? Okay, make sure you can see it all. I won't do it all. I'm just trying to see. I'd love to see if you guys would try grid. If you didn't understand what I did, let me know and I'll try to explain it more. I'll do a little bit of a recap there in a minute. But just look, as you see that background, look. I'll just go back and forth, just scribbling on. Because it only looks like scribbles here in the background. It doesn't look like, you know, anything fantastic. But just try to draw what you see. And you'd be surprised that it will actually turn out. As long as you can get the shape. Getting the shapes is the hardest thing. I'll see if I can show you how to get shapes in other ways too, okay? Like, I know drawing is hard at times, depending on what you're drawing. Some drawings are easier than others, but the biggest thing is the shadows and the shadings and the shapes. If you get all that. Now portraits are a different thing again, because if you're trying to get the likeness of somebody, then it's really difficult to do that, right? But if you do a grid, or if you do a measure of the face, you know, there's several different ways you can do it. You could even trace it if you wanted to. Trace the outline, you know, and the outline, the eyes and the nose. And just because you're tracing it don't mean that you're cheating. You're just adding an easy, you know, they're the tools to help you get started on your drawings. That's all it is, really. Just tools. And some people can sit there and they can draw somebody just without any help of anything. They just draw and they get it perfect. But see how that line disappeared now? See? So anytime you want to make a line disappear, just put the background on and it'll disappear. See? See? Isn't that cool? Right? And if you want to make it disappear even more, then you can shade it here at the bottom. Like that. Right? See? So there, so you know, so, and the grass is just filling in there, and just all you see is shadows. You see the darks and shadows. You can use, you know, your kneaded eraser to take out those highlights. The grass down here, you see the shadow here, and all these little bits of grass. All those little bits of grass is just little things like this, little tiny little lines, right? Just little tiny little lines on top of each other. Wait, no. Let's get that going again. Let's start that again. Where are we? Back up a little bit. Alright, so those bits of grass are just little tiny lines on top of each other. And there we go, and that's all you do. And then you get close to there. Just these little tiny lines on top of each other. See, you can see the grass there already, look. See? Okay. You keep doing that, overlapping in all those little lines, just overlapping to the left, to the left, to the right, to the right, straight up, okay? To the left, to the left, to the right, straight up. And then you keep going, you can overlap them again so you can get those shadow areas. And then you can, and this, you don't have to shade these because you want them to have a little bit of texture to make it look grassy, right? See the grass there? So you did all the bottom there, that'll look like grass. Then you put your shadow in. If you want to put a shadow in, all you got to do is take your bending stump and then you can put the shadow in there, or you can draw it in with a pencil. But I just wanted to show you where you put your grass. But we brought the cow to life, and the eye, I can't see the eye very well on there, so I'm just going to put a little bit of a highlight around the dark circle that I made there. I'm just making a dark circle right here, and I'm going to make another one right here, but you can't see it, see? Maybe a little bit of an eyelash coming out. And then I'm going to put a little bit of highlight around. I got another eraser here. I have all this listed for my Amazon shop if you want to buy them. And this is, I like this one because I got more control over it and it's stiffer in that. So I'm just going to make a highlight around that eye there to bring it out a bit more. Make it look like there might be an eye there, see? See? And there's a little tag there. I don't know what that's tags, and I'm going to put those tags on. But yeah, I find it's much easier to do highlights and things. And that's about it really. I mean, you can certainly work on your shadows. But see how those little bits of shadow and shade brought it out? It's all right. You just follow what you see, and you have a lovely little painting. Lovely. And if you want to add, let's see, go with a darker pencil. Let's go with let's see if we can find a darker pencil. Maybe a 4B, 6B, let's say 6B, B. All right, so you can add those, see all this darkness over here. Let's get that in there so you can see it. See all this darkness over here, right here. So you can add that with a darker pencil, see? So you can get more contrast in your drawing, and you can leave these little openings. As you saw the little openings, you can see the black, and then you can see all the little openings that they left, you know, that's there. So you can do that. You just put in the dark, and then and there's more over here. And as you're putting it on, I'm putting on short little strokes so that I can leave some openings there where there's, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit here. Right? And then you get that nice, contrast going on, see? And the contrast is going to make a big difference. So then you can just add little dots of that darker color. And then, now this is 6B, like I said, right? So, and there's a lot of darkness going on down here. I have no idea. I can't see that. It could be another hoof there. It looks like it might be a hoof. So we'll just, maybe it is. It's really dark, so, and because you have some shading underneath it, that's a good thing, because then when you skip over some of the spots, that other shading will come through. So now you can start bringing in some of these other darks. There's some on the back here. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm going to pretend I do. And then you're going to, up here, there's a lot of dark. But see the difference it makes when you make, like, use your 6B, your really dark, or even some charcoal, and put these really dark, the darkest you can find, and that will bring out the rest. It'll make everything else stand out. These contrasts of dark. See that? What a difference, hey? What a difference. So then you could even darken up these here if you want to. Now that you got them nice and dark, and then you can make them even darker. Your 6B pencil. See? Before, I didn't do it before because if I wanted to erase, say I didn't like that shape, right? If I didn't like the shape, I could erase it. I'd be able to get rid of it. But if I put a really dark color on there, then it's going to be very difficult to erase and fix it up, okay? But when you're happy with your drawing and you feel that you're comfortable with it, then that's the time now that you can start adding your darkest darks. And use 6B, 7B, or 8B pencil or charcoal, and you will get beautiful dark colors, shadows and shades, right? And then you can, if you want to, you can spread it out a bit more. Now I didn't need to soften that one up. We want it to look more textured over there. I'm spreading this out because the dark is there and then it moves up a bit. See how it moves up right here? See? It's darker down here, and then as it moves up, it's like you're able to start seeing the coat, I suppose. It's not fur, but you can see the coat. Right? This is here, so you can fix up some things that need fixing. All right. But you see the difference. You really see a difference when you really make those spots nice and dark. That's what makes this drawing so interesting, because of the contrast. The cow is white, but the contrast, right? Just watch. And now you don't have to work so hard, because now it's all done for you. All you gotta do is go over it. Right? Once you get to this stage, you're on your way. And I can see here, looking at the picture, that there's some lighter shade left up here. So I'm just going to lift up my hand, you know, the pressure, but I'm going to have to pressure nice and dark here and here. If you had to adjust the picture, you would have seen a different outcome of shadows and shadings. But I'm just going to go by what I already have there now. But you can see the difference already, look. Just look at that. What a difference, eh? I'm going to leave a little bit of shadow. I'm just going to bring the shadow down here a little bit more. Leave out a little bit of that there so that it gives it some shape. See? See how I left some of the ear a little lighter, just so that it'll sort of make the ear look like it's turned. And that's how you get shapes with your shadows and your contrasts. Now we can get that nice dark mouth there that we're looking for. This ear here also has some shadow. I find the shadows here more. So I'm just darkening up that little bit here. And then there was a white spot there that I missed, and I colored it in. I shaded it in, right? So now because I shaded in and because I got a lot of graphite, I might have a hard time getting it out. So if you make a mistake like that, then you can't get it out, we'll leave it. But this eraser here will take most of it out. This won't take most of it out. I find this one here that I'm using now, I find it really good. Yeah, this is really nice. It's zero mono. Anyway, I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link for you because that's really good. Your tools are what helps you really make some nice drawings, right? Your tools are what does the most. Now, we got some shadow over here. And I'm trying to get that darkness behind here even darker than that ear again. So I'm pressing really hard. And if I want that ear to stand out, I can probably lift some of the shadows out. Maybe give an end to the ear here so that you can see it. That way you can see the contrast. You can see that that's separated, so it's the ear is separated. And I noticed too that even when these shadows here, I don't know if you can see them, but see how they're darker in some areas than others, because the cow is shaped, right? There's shapes, muscles and stuff. So So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave out some areas. I'm going to go dark, and then I'm going to, let's see, some shapes here, make it dark here. I'm just trying to pick the parts. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be exact, I should say. I'm going to leave out some of this. I got some of the nice shadow. That's the beauty of putting on those lighter shadings first. Then when you go over, then you got that underneath. See? And then you it helps a lot, because now all you gotta do is maneuver around it, put in where you want the darkest shadows, but you want to maneuver around it so that it looks like the cow has some shape. Okay? So let's see now what we're going to do here. We're going to do this. Let's see. That's the ear right here. I'm going to put another line here so I don't lose my ear. Put the shadow under that ear. And then I'll bring some down here. See how I'm skipping over some places? And when I get to the end here, I'm going to darken that up for sure. Lead up with here. But you can see it coming to life better though, right? You can see that the darks are really coming out nicely. Bringing that out nicely. It makes your drawings much more professional looking. So when you do these contrasts, which is the really dark areas, the darkest you can get them, okay? I keep forgetting to put my glove on. Every time I went out and had my supper, I came in to continue, and then I forgot to put my glove on. So, that's all right. So anyway, where was I? Right here. So I'm just trying to picture now. It seems like a little bit dark here. We got here, here, and here. And you have to have a really good eye. You have to know what to look for, or at least purposely look for certain things. Look for darks and lights, even though the darks and the lights might look almost the same. But if you look at the picture, you'll see that they don't. So now when we blend that should come in nicer. And if you're not happy with it, you can always go back and put in more darks. And what you can do, if you're not happy with it, you can put into darks, put in more dark, and then, because I'm not happy with that, but it's not bad, I'm not going to really fill it all completely, but I want to add more dark, and then what I'm going to do, okay, so that's a bit better, so you have to experiment, right? So what I'm going to do is use my kneaded eraser to take out some highlights. And like you can see, it's not very much, right? So you just sort of drag it over and let the eraser take them out for you, right? Just drag, just touch. Look, let the eraser do it for you, right? I don't know if that looks funny on camera, but it looks funny on camera, me looking at it here, but it looks pretty good if trying to, so you don't, here we go. And it's kind of shiny because the graphite is shiny, lead, right? And now we do, just only a couple more left there. I like to do those just so I can show you. Just a bit down here. Down here, a little bit on the end here. And where else? See, the shadow down here is not too bad. Too dark. Make sure I don't. Sometimes I might move the paper down. Yell at me if I do that. All right. Now let's see if this one has any highlights on it. I'm just going to do the whole thing. I want to show you. So I'm just going to do the whole thing dark. Now I already explained Now I already explained the reason why I did the lighter one first, was so I could erase it if I didn't like the shape, okay? And it's also great if you want to use that, like if I want to just have that dark down there. So now I have my medium value already there. I don't have to worry about it, right? It's there. All right, and then that helps me make more better decisions, or it would look better. So that's good there. I don't need to do much with that. That's better. See how the top, because there might be a bit of sun shining down on top of that, right? Might be a bit of light or something going on there. So, I might as well finish it for you. Looks like the map of Newfoundland on that one. That's why I do. Newfoundland. Newfoundland, Canada. In case you're wondering where Newfoundland is, if you're not from Newfoundland or Canada. People don't know where it is because it's small. I like small cities. I was in a few big cities and it scared me. Big tall buildings. They're like monsters. Big monster buildings looking down on me. There we go. So you can fix things too if you didn't get a better, you know, you can make shapes that you missed. See? You make some coming out like that. You know, just have a look around and see what way the shapes are on the ends too, you know. Right? See that? I'm not going to blend that one because I got some nice different values going on there, even though you may not be able to see it. But a little bit of different values going on there. But look how much better it looks so far. We got one more to do and then I'm gonna leave it. I mean, I could, you know, work on this all night, you know, and you can work on it, shading and shadowing and all kinds of stuff, right? But I think, you know, this is I think this is a good lesson to get you started on how to do a grid and how to do contrast. Darkness is here because there's a bend there in where the leg is, right? So now you're going to leave that lighter out here so you get that bend, right? The leg, see? Then you come on over here and probably leave out a little bit there. Just what you can do is just lighten up on your pressure on your hand, lighten it up like that. And then when you want it really dark, push really hard. Push. See, when I push how dark it gets, push really hard. Sometimes your hands might even get, you know, your hand might get tired. Just take a break. You know, that's normal. Right, there we go. See, that gives that illusion of the cow having a, you know, going over the leg, right? A muscle or whatever. So this got a line here, so you can either try to blend it in, put more shadow in and things like that, just to get that extra. So that make that line disappear, right? This line here, I'm going to make that disappear. Just bring over some shadow away from it. Move it away from that line, and that way you'll get, that will disappear right there. See how that line disappeared? Same with that one here. Take the line, and now when you go over the line, as you're going over the line, move away from the line very lightly, okay? So you get a shadow away from the line, and that will separate those legs or whatever's going on there, and then that line disappears. So wherever you see a line, put grass or whatever the background is around it, and that will make that line disappear. See? Right? Disappears into the background. See how that's disappearing? Look. Okay. So there we go, I finished it, and you saw what I did. It was really no explanation needed. I just filled in with some shading with circles mostly, and then I used my highlighter, my eraser. Love this thing. You can do lots of things with this. Made little bits of grass, put a bit of shadow in between some of the grasses. There's a shadow on the ground for the cow, and I just made some big dark circles up here, and then I used my highlighter to make it look like trees. So it's a little bit similar to this one, right? All right, marvelous.